Good morning. Good afternoon, all of you, once again, on the last day of our 4 days national online program on academic writing on research methodology. As we all know, today's speaker, Professor Rana Singh, Vice Chancellor, Sanskriti University, Mathura, great academician, great person, great, I can say, motivational guru, Dr. Professor Rana Singh ji. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
On today's session. Participants, I hope you are enjoying from last 3 days, and I'm very much sure that today you will also enjoy more. Now I request Professor S.S. Modi to welcome our guests and participants.
Hello, everyone. I am delighted to welcome all the distinguished participants from all regions of the country to be present at this important meeting. It is great honor to me to welcome today's resource person, Professor Dr. Rana Singh, for accepting our invitation for being a resource person for today's session. He is the Vice Chancellor of Sanskriti University, Mathura. Formerly, he has been Director, Army Institute of Management and Technology, Greater Noida, Director, Institutional Effectiveness, Quality Assurance, University of Jazeera, Dubai, Director, Institution of Research and Planning, Gulf Medical University, UAE, Professor in Management and Dean, Oro University of Hospitality and Management, Surat. I would also like to welcome Professor N.D. Mathur, Professor Dr. Anil Mehta, Dr. Rajiv Srivastav for joining the session. Today's topic of FDP-MDP is research methodology data analysis. The research design and methodology outlines the actual research problems and details the process for solving it. Following data collection, the data needs to be critically analyzed. For any research, data analysis is very important as it provides an explanation of various concepts, theories, frameworks, and methods used. It eventually helps in arriving at conclusions and proving the hypothesis. The main purpose of data analysis is to find meaning in data so that the derived knowledge can be used to make informed decisions. Now, I'm inviting Professor Dr. Rana Singh to join us for online presentation on topic data analysis. Professor Dr. Rana Singh.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor S.S. Modi ji and Ravi Modi ji for inviting me as a resource person.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's indeed a pleasure, privilege, honor, and delight to share my thoughts and learnings and experiences with the eminent faculty members who are here today as panelists. Respected Anil Mehta ji, respected Mathur ji, and all other eminent dignitaries along with Modi ji. A very warm good afternoon to all of you, and very warm good afternoon to all the participants. I really admire their passion to enhance their learning and towards maximization of knowledge, skills, and competencies in the domain of research methodology. So without investing more time, we will start bang on with our presentation. And I would request Ravi Modi ji to allow me to share my participation, to share the screen.
Yes, sir, you can share.
Yes, please. I will just be sharing this one. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. So,
Sir, you can make this to a slideshow.
yes, thank you so much for
Yes.
reminding.
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
So
Right.
today's topic is data analysis. And we all know that data analysis is the backbone of research. It plays a very important role in analyzing the collected data so that we get meaningful results, and which helps us in reaching the correct inference and ultimately in making correct recommendations in the light of the research problem. And it also helps us in doing the gap analysis and recommending to the future researchers. So today, the agenda for today's presentation will talk about data, the data types, data analysis. We'll talk about data management, data analysis tools. We'll also talk about the process and type of data analysis. And we'll also talk about the steps in data analysis. So we'll invest a lot of time discussing today, and we'll also talk about how to learn more and more about data analysis so that we are able to give more, or rather professional results, better results, more accurate results in the process of conducting research. Actually, Modi ji has requested me to keep my speed slightly slow, and I'm very conscious of this fact. We'll talk about, right from the introduction, well, we sometimes feel what data is all about. So data is all about different quantities, different numbers. Now, loosely speaking, sometimes we also get information when we talk about qualitative research. Now, so we have different types of graphs also, which comes to us as data. So we as researchers, we need to know that how are we going to analyze the data of different types. And the moment we understand that, okay, these are the various types which we are going to analyze, it becomes easier for us to understand and take it forward. Now, we have different kinds of facts, figures, observations, numbers, quantity, information, graph, and different measurements, and so on and so forth. So data is anything which is coming to us in form of an input, which we are willing to analyze and give some concrete results whenever we have some research problem at our hand. तो ये numbers भी हो सकते हैं, graphs भी हो सकते हैं, information भी हो सकते हैं, और जब हम qualitative research की बात करते हैं, it can be different statements, sometimes it can be case studies as well. So it's not necessary that it should be hardcore numbers. So data can be of different types, and we should be open to accept it and be willing to analyze the different types of data. So this is how we will go about it. Now, broadly speaking, we talk about data divided into qualitative data and quantitative data. So qualitative data, let's say when we enjoy somebody's session, we say, wow, it was a great fun listening to him. So we just give a qualitative statement. Oh, it was so boring. I don't know what he was talking about. So we give qualitative statements. So this is also a data. Then we have quantitative data. Okay, fine. If I ask you how many rasgullas you would like to have, an answer comes from you 5 rasgullas. So that is a quantitative data. That's a discrete number. So it's fine. Suppose if I wish to give you foreign trips in 1 year, how many trips you would like to have? Fine, 2 trips is good enough. So these are discrete data. Now, when we talk about continuous data, so that's important for us to understand what is continuous data. So if I want to measure the long jump, somebody was doing a long jump, so it was 3.265 meters. So that is a continuous data, because that cannot be 3 meters or 4 meters or 5 meters. So we need to understand the difference between the discrete data and the continuous data. And the way we analyze them is different. And we have host of statistical tools and techniques at our disposal to analyze the various data which we have at hand. Today we'll talk about some of the advanced techniques in Power BI, how to do data analysis using Power BI, using Microsoft Excel and Power BI together. So I have tried my level best to make this session as interesting for my eminent participants who are learned academicians, who have been pursuing research, intending to do research, and so on and so forth. So this is how we talk about the different types of data. So now sometimes we also have some other divisions. We call it as nominal or non-numeric discrete values. Sometimes we can categorize. Now suppose we have to categorize the class in male and female. So we divide the data into two categories, two genders, male and female. Sometimes we have to divide the number of people coming on different days. So it's into categories, 7 categories: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So sometimes we have to do the ranking. Now, suppose there are 5 students in the class. Somebody got rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5. So sometimes the data is in form of rank. There are some data which are arbitrary in nature. Normally the addresses 5 Willingdon Street, London. That's that's a different kind of a data. It's very arbitrary. There'll be no, two data matching together. The names: Vivian Richards, Clive Lloyd, and from India we have, let's say, Anil Mehta, SS Modi. So all these names are different. So let's understand the difference between the types of data. Now let's talk about Boolean data, which are normally binary in nature. Now, my participants are listening. So the answer is yes. Okay, in some cases, no, they switch off their video and they enjoy doing something else because some of them just want the certificate. They're not willing to learn. So that's a different strategy altogether. So the answer is either yes or no. So today we will keep the participants engaged. I will ask the participants questions, and in the answers, if it is yes, they can do thumbs up, and if it is no, they can clap. So they have the emoticon with them. I'll be asking questions during the session, and for yes, they will do this, and for no, they'll be clapping. So that is the code word which will have the questions during the session, so that I can see how many participants are actively listening during the session. So Boolean data normally of 2 types: yes or no, true or false. So this is how, so we have different types of data, and we need to understand them to analyze the data in a professional manner. Now, there are some data which are continuous in nature. Some data which are continuous in nature. Let's talk about length, 5.32 meters. So it is continuous in nature. But when we talk about laddus, I'm very fond of laddus. So if I say, how many laddus you would like to have, 5 or 6, I can't say 5.739. No. So we'll have to have laddus in concrete numbers, 5, 6, 7. So I think some of my participants also must be liking laddus. So how many of the participants like laddus? I want the answer in yes or no. Let me see. Yes. So the yes is this and the no is this one. So fine enough. I think some of them have started answering. Good. I like the spirit. So then we talk about the geographical data. Geographical data we talk about. Now, let us understand we are a multinational organization and we want to see where is the maximum profit coming from, which country. So now in that case, the spatial data, the geographical data gives me an idea. The maximum business is coming from South Africa. Thereafter, it's Europe. Thirdly, it's North America, South America, and so on and so forth. So that's the spatial data, the geographical data, which gives us according to the longitude and latitude, and also in terms of the location of the map. So that's very interesting. We will show it, the practical part of it at the end of the session, the live with some of the examples, especially from Power BI. Now, there are some temporal data. Temporal data is like, suppose I want to see what was the temperature in the last 30 years on June 29th in India. So the same date, last 30 years, and we see that the temperature is gradually going on increasing. So we really can find a relationship, the number of trees going down and the temperature going up, if we have the temporal data, the temperature of last 30 years on 29th June. So that is how we talk about the chronological data, or let's say the data of temperature of 365 days. We can see how the temperature is going up in a particular season and so on. Then we talk about the topological data in terms of the hierarchy within an organization, the relationship mapping. In an organization, we map the organization structure. The top management is managing director, thereafter board of directors, president, vice president, and so on. So that is the relationship mapping. So we have multiple types of data, and as a researcher, it's very important for us to understand that yes, we are going to be conscious of all this data so that we are able to analyze the data in more professional manner. Now, there is a new science evolving from data. So data analysis, data analytics, data science. So these are different terms. They sound synonymous, but they are different. Now let's try and understand how they are different and how are we going to leverage it. Now, when we talk about data science, let's try and understand. Well, we have people coming from computer science background. There is convergence of three different segments. Now, there are people coming from different domains. So they bring with them their domain knowledge. They bring with them their domain knowledge. Then there is a set of professors. They know a lot of statistics and mathematics and allied areas like econometrics. So they bring with them the knowledge of mathematics, statistics, econometrics, and allied disciplines. And then comes the computer science experts. They bring with them the knowledge of computer science, data analytics, data analysis, and they all come together, and the convergence of it is understood as data science. So it's important for us to understand. So now, normally we talk about researchers from two perspectives. One is the academic research, and the second one is the industry, the domain specific research. So when we are talking about domain specific research, we need to know the client requirements. What is the problem of the client, and what is the important criteria to be highlighted? And then we explain the various technical concepts so that not everyone, when we give data analysis and research finding, we as a researcher, it's our responsibility to make the research findings easily readable and understandable by one and all. So that's something which is very important. So then we as researchers, we need to have the statistical knowledge, all the statistical tools and techniques, but a knowledge of mathematics as well. And then we have to design the research design in such a way that we are able to get the desired outcomes. We are able to test the hypothesis with the right set of statistical tests and are able to get the research findings and so on. And then sometimes we build a particular model, we test the model, and then we do the fitting of the model, we tune the model so that we are able to get the right results. And these days we have new generation, computers which are helping us in analyzing the data. And there are a lot of database languages. And today I will expect my participants, if the chat box is open, I will request Ravi ji to leave the chat box open so that they can answer in case if they, how many of you understand what is SQL? SQL, do you know about SQL? Okay, it's a structured query language. It's a structured query language. Structured query language is a software which helps us in managing the databases, so that we are able to store our data and make a query. Suppose I store the database of all my university students, and someday I want to know which girl student has excelled in the sports of cricket, and I want the answer. So SQL has the facility. I can ask for queries and it can give instantaneous results. So that is SQL, structured query language. Hadoop, it's again a software which is a database related software wherein we can store data and we can retrieve data as and when required. हम अपना data उसमें store कर सकते हैं और जब चाहे हम उससे अपने queries को लिख के उससे ले सकते हैं. Then it is important for us to understand data governance. It's important for us to understand data governance. Data governance is about, it will come in the subsequent slides in detail, but to start with, I'll tell you how the data is being governed, who's controlling the data, who's procuring the data, who's securing the data, who's retrieving the data. Everything gets documented in the data policy, data protection policy, data storage policy in documented format, and the entire governance of data is well documented. Now we talk about data pre-processing. The data has to be pre-processed. We can't take any garbage data and store it in our database. There has to be some element of pre-processing so that we are storing neat and clean data in our databases. And then we talk about data validation. Now data validation is very, very important for us to understand. Sometimes we write algorithms so that automatically data gets validated. Suppose we ask the gender of the person. So it will have a validation either male or female. Somebody wants to type the figure 10, it will not take the data. So the data gets validated. Automatically, we have mechanisms to store good quality data. And sometimes even after that, if there is a problem, we do data cleaning at a later time. Then we talk about data infrastructure. Data infrastructure is the complete infrastructure of IT, information technology, hardware and software, data center, all of them together, how we are going to manage the data infrastructure so that we have sufficient backup of data in the server, one backup at a remote location, so that even if the server goes for a total crash or there is absolute fire in the data center, we can still retrieve from a remote location through FTP. Then we have different types of other classification and regression model. So data science is the convergence of all three: domain, maths and stats, and computer together. So they all converge. And if we look at it, when we have, like mostly we people come from management and commerce background. So we have domain knowledge from management and commerce. And when we integrate it with maths and stats knowledge, so we do research and analysis. And when we use the help of computers, we ultimately call it as data science. So let's understand data science. We are leveraging maths, stats, advanced computing. Then we visualize the data model, and accordingly, we also visualize the hacker mindset, how the hacker is going to think about trying to hack in the system, so that we keep our data structure, we keep our data storage in such a way that no hacker is able to penetrate in our database. And there is a term called penetration testing. Penetration testing is a test which we use to challenge the hackers. The hackers are invited, professional hackers are invited, they are being paid to make them, you come, this is my database, you come and hack it. If they are able to hack it, we try and learn how they have hacked, so that we make it again secure from that hacking, weakness as well. Then the domain expertise I talked about, it can be domain expertise from commerce and management, agriculture, science, and so many other disciplines. So this is all about data science, all of them converging together for collecting the data, storing the data, analyzing the data, retrieving the data, and preparing data models, and doing prediction and various other recommendations as well. So data science is an emerging area which is helping us in enriching our data analysis processes. So this is the only slide wherein I have kept certain text so that for beginners, they are able to understand what data analysis is all about. The first aspect is, now we all know when we have to do analysis, before we analyze, we have to do data storage, we have to do data collection. So the first aspect is inspection of data. Is the data in the right format? Is it matching the right specification? So when we say specification, it says that, okay, you have to enter the name and the data type is in terms of character. So we have to just type, suppose the name is SS Modi, I have to type SS Modi. I cannot type it in 93785. No, that will be digit based. So we have to inspect the data. Is it in the right order? Is it accurate? Is it structured in the right way? Is it in the right place? Are the labels correct? And so on and so forth. So first job is to inspect the data. The second job is to clean the data. Cleaning is very, very important. Sometimes what really happens, we are able to put the mobile number in the email ID field and email ID in the mobile number field. So sometimes you have to do cleaning and so on and so forth. There are sometimes data types which are irrelevant. there are incomplete data, so we have to delete, clean such kind of data. Then we talk about transforming. Now, transforming and modeling. Transforming and modeling, the set of data which we have, we will show you in the last couple of slides how we can do transformation of data using Excel and using Power BI. So we transform the data to look at the facts which I wish to want. Means I wish to see. Suppose I want to see which country is giving me maximum profits. So I will look at two figures, country figures and the profit figures, and then I can get. So we have, our data may have 40 fields, but I just want 2 or 3 fields. So I can transform the data according to my requirements, according to the expectations of the research and so on, and create business model. And the ultimate aim is to discover some useful research finding and to reach a particular conclusion. And we want to take a particular decision on the basis of the data which we have at our hand. So we have multiple techniques, data analysis techniques. We need to, I'll give you one example so that all of you will understand. Let's take the example of a doctor. The doctor studies about 10,000 diseases and 50,000 medicines. But when we go as a patient, he just prescribes 1 or 2 or 3 medicines. So that is the role of the researcher. We need to study the various types of research problems at our hand and understand the various statistical tools and techniques. But when it comes to one particular research problem, we'll have to understand, well, this data, we have to collect these types of data, and these are the research, statistical tools to be applied. And this is how we are going to collect the data, analyze the data, and give our recommendations. So it's very important for us to understand what is the process of data analysis. Now, when we talk about the process of data analysis, the first and foremost requirement is specification of data requirements. So we need to know what is the specification. Very clear-cut specification is required. Now, suppose I want to know the age of people. So I want to know the age in year, months, and days. 3 quantity I want. So the age, I just want whole number, total number of years. So we have to be specific when we are collecting the data, so that we want to compare that what is the correlation of age vis-a-vis somebody's achievement in a particular domain. So the first and foremost job is to define the data requirements specification. So when we say, I want the name of the student, so I have to define what name, first name, middle name, last name, or just the first name, or the first name or the last name. So these are the data specifications at our hand, which we need to be very, very clear. Then we go for the data collection. Now, data collection can be online, offline, whatever modes we are going to leverage. Now, then comes processing the data. Now, when we do the data processing, we need to be very, very sure how we are going to process. Are we doing it manually? Are we doing it using computers, and so on and so forth? Now, next level we talk about as data cleaning. Now, when we talk about data cleaning, it's important for us to understand what kind of data we are going to eliminate, and is it going to impact the overall research or not? And last but not the least, we do data analysis using the respective software, and ultimately we do the research findings and give our recommendations to the end users with our recommendations that, okay, these are the recommendations as a culmination of my research findings. So this is all about now data information knowledge. This is all about, I'll just give you one example why Indian universities are not being able to make in the top universities of the world. The major focus across the world is towards knowledge creation. And when we talk about knowledge creation, we have to focus more and more on conducting research and create new set of knowledge. So most of the universities today are focusing more of teaching, less of research. And when we are analyzing the data, it takes the form of information, and all information clubbed together from interdisciplinary areas culminates in the form of knowledge. And knowledge creation is one of the most important agenda today. And that's how it is important for us to focus on creation of knowledge by conducting research, relevant research. So it's important for us. Now, this is a graphic, and let's understand we have different forms of graphics, and this graphic gives a small thing for us to understand. Now, here is the point A and here is the point B. Now, there are graphs here, bar chart, line chart, and we can see here some of the gear-like structure. So how the data is interdependent with each other, how they impact each other, and when we are analyzing the data, how it is helping us in reaching the end result. So it's important for us to understand data analysis plays a very, very important role. Now, for data analysis, it's important for us to understand data management. If we are able to manage our data well, we'll be able to analyze the data better. Because if we are not managing the data well, our data analysis may not be of the optimal quality. So let's talk about 1, 2, 3. We'll start from the first aspect. Whenever we are storing data, we plan the data architecture. Data architecture is when we are building a house, we make a map. Where will be the drawing room, will be the boardroom, will be the balcony, and so on and so forth. So similarly, in terms of data storage, when we are managing the data, we have to plan the data architecture, how one data will be interacting with the other data, and so on. Then we plan for the data warehousing. Where are we going to store the data? Within the server, outside the server, at a remote location, and so on. What are the data standards? We have to specify the data standards and data specification. Then we talk about the data security, how secure the data, what are the various firewalls which we are going to use, what will be the data access policy for our people within the organization and outside the organization, how are we going to share the data? Are we going to share the server? Are we going to give them an image of the data? Are we going to give them an FTP access, and so on and so forth? Then there is one set of data which we call it as master data. So that suppose in a university, we have different types of data. Admission team has a data pertaining to admissions, admission marks, admission test marks, interview marks, a lot of other things. The examination would have examination related data. So one of the master data would be the name of the student and his or her date of birth and father's name. So managing the master data is very, very important. And then we talk about data governance, how the data is being stored, who are the people who are going to control the data, how it will be used, to what extent it will be given to one another. And then lastly, we talk about data integration, how the data will be integrated with different databases. Are they interdependent on a real-time basis, or at the end of the server, at the end of the day, they get backed up and then they talk to each other, and so on and so forth. So it's important for us to plan the data management aspects when we are doing data analysis. So we need to understand what exactly data analysis is all about. What are the various methods, techniques, and tools for doing data analysis that will help us in managing our data, doing the data analysis in a professional manner, and we'll be able to give better output, better results, better research findings. So now let us talk about Excel gives us a lot of opportunities. Excel gives us a lot of opportunities of data formatting. Now, let's look at conditional formatting. Conditional formatting, if I give a condition, if the data gets duplicated, let us color in red. Let us color in red. Let us delete the duplicate data. So even in Excel, we have too many data formatting tools, and we should be able to format the data before we start analyzing it, so that once we have done the formatting, the results of our statistical tests are much better. So we have different types of spreadsheet softwares. One of the majorly used software these days to start with is Excel. Then we talk about SPSS, Statistical Package for Social Sciences. We talk about IBM AMOS for structural equation modeling. We have SYSTAT, SAS, and we have Statcrunch, we have R. There are a host of MATLABs. So when we talk about MATLAB, we are able to do mathematical analysis there. So we'll talk about data formatting here. So we have conditional formatting. Now we'll take the help of MS Excel here to start with how we can do the data formatting here. We'll do it live today so that we all understand how we are going to do it. Now, suppose we have the location address of different students: Delhi, Mumbai, Patna, Delhi, Chennai. So this is 5 set of data. Now, if we look at this data and I think this is not visible. Okay, we'll do it live at the end of the session. So we have multiple data formatting tools. We do conditional formatting. We want to delete the multiple cells and so on and so forth. We can do sorting and filtering the data according to different requirements. We'll go to data formatting at the end. Now we need to understand what is personal data. Personal data are important data sets pertaining to the respondents, like the name, the address, mobile number, their residence, their income, their caste, color, religion, their health information. So as researcher, it is our important responsibility to respect the privacy of the respondents and make sure we use it only for analysis purpose, and we do not disclose after data analysis the personal information of the respondents. Now let us look at this slide so that we are able to understand what is this talking about. Now we'll look at the first on the top left, data analysis and idea. So this data analysis can help us in generating a wonderful business idea. So when we talk about data analysis, we collect the data, we do the analysis. It can give us an idea. Oh, there is a huge shortage of a particular product, and let us start manufacturing this. So this is one. Now you can see a person here looking at all these graphs, line graph, bar chart, histogram, different types of pie chart, and so on. So he's able to look at all this data so that he can understand what are the current business trends of his products, of the competitors, so that he's able to give the correct recommendation to the insiders as well as to the outsiders. To the insiders, what should be the areas of improvement? To the outsiders, he can talk about the strength of our products, high sales in particular area, and so on. The third one on the top right, it looks at the various 0101. This talks about the emergence of digital technologies to give a quantum fillip and a qualitative edge to the quality of research processes. There is another person here at the bottom right. He's also doing almost the same, but in terms of the facts, he's able to deal with multiple analyzed data and doing further second level of analysis. So data analysis level 1 is we have analyzed the data and we have the various graphs. Then we come to the second level of analysis. After all the graph is there, now we have to take a decision about the products, about the services, and so on and so forth. So now this is about it. So now we also talk about somebody who's look at the central bottom part of it. There is a magnifying glass which is trying to look at the data and find some trends, some business directions, so that we can take business related decisions and maximize the profit of an organization. Now the bottom right, here is a person who's trying to create business models and the data visualization in such a way that using this data visualization, he can analyze the data trends and give recommendations to the top management regarding launching a new product, increasing the production or decreasing the production, and so on and so forth. So it's very important for us to understand how data analysis plays very important role in the domain of business and commerce and various other domain areas. Now, these are the various statistical tools and techniques which are available at our hand. I'm sure many of us know many of them about it. Well, MS Excel is one of the most common tools which most of us know. We have RapidMiner. We have IBM, stands for International Business Machine. SPSS, statistical package for social sciences. Modeler. So we do data modeling using SPSS, and we can also implement SPSS on the backend side of our website, so that on the website we can get the quantified analysis in the way we want. Then we have Splunk, we have Apache Spark, we have Python, we have Tableau Public, we have SAS, RapidMiner, NIME, R programming, Statcrunch, AMOS. AMOS is also from IBM. AMOS is especially very, very important for analyzing data, wherein we want the cause and effect relationship, and we also want to know what is the direction of relationship and what is the strength of the relationship between the two sets of the data. So these are the various data analysis tools. Apart from this, we also have Power BI and many others. Means this slide would have become very cluttered if I were tried to put all of them. But I would leave my participants to be more investigative to find out what are the other data analysis tools and how we can leverage them in our day-to-day research processes. Now, this is something which is very, very important to understand the entire process. What exactly is the process? Now, the first part of it is knowing the reality, what the reality is, what are the different types of data, what is the problem at our hand, and what are the different data sets that are required to analyze that particular real life problem. Now, once we have collected the raw data, we have to do the cleaning part of it, understanding that the data quality is of the right type. And then what we do is we start thinking of what would be the best data analysis tool and technique, so that we are in a position to, analyze the data in such a way that we are able to get the right set of results. And from that right set of results, we are able to make recommendations, solve the business problem at our hand. And this is very, very important for us to understand the insight visualization. When we talk about insight visualization, data has to be, data gives limited findings. Now we have to dig deep into data. We have to see two different relationships. Let me give you one small example so that you can understand. We can see two sets of data, the change in prices and the change in sales. Change in prices and change in sales. But if we bring both the data together, we can see what has been the impact of the change in price on the change in sales. Whether people are price sensitive or people are loyal to the customer, they don't mind a price hike and so on. So such data, so we have to do the insight visualization so that we are able to visualize the data trend and ultimately really give the research finding. Now, there is one problem with the business house. They want to know, is the price of my product high, low, or just optimal? हमारी products की कीमत ज्यादा है, कम है, या बिल्कुल सही है? Now, in such cases, we need to know multiple sets of data. First, our data and our sales. Then data of the competitors and their sales as well. And it is very challenging to get the sales data of the competitors. Sometimes we can have some sample data from the shops, but definitely not from the company per se. Nobody would like to give their sensitive sales data and the price data and so on. Now, after having the sales data of our own and the price data and the sales and price data of our competitors, we have to model the graph and then look at the insights, whether our price is high or low, whether we need to increase the price or decrease the price or just stay as it is. So there are a lot of business decisions to be taken with the help of doing the right set of data analytical tools, and ultimately we'll go ahead further. Now, we need to understand what are the different types of data analysis. Now, the first set of data analysis is, we call it as descriptive analysis. I'll explain it in the simplest words because, these words are very, challenging to understand sometimes. Descriptive analysis, हम statistics में calculate करते हैं mean, mode, median, skewness, kurtosis, standard deviation. So they give us the central tendency of the data. Now, suppose we are dealing in 10 countries. We want to know what has been the average sales of these 10 countries. So we will be doing descriptive data analysis. Now, Apart from this, we also need to do something slightly more beyond this. We talk about diagnostic data analysis. We need to know why the sales is falling. Why the sales is falling? Is it the price? Is it the poor quality of products? Is it the after sales service? Is it the non-availability of the products, and so on and so forth? So we have to diagnose the reasons. So we have to do diagnostic data analysis. So the types of data analysis are different, and accordingly we need to understand how are we going to do it. So we have to diagnose the reason why a particular product, the sales is going down. Is it the price? Is it the availability? And so on and so forth. Now, the third type of data analysis we talk about is the trend analysis. We have to predict the trend in the next month or in the next quarter. Is the sales of the television of my company, suppose I am Samsung and I'm the CEO. So as a CEO of Samsung company, we need to know as to next month or in the next quarter, our sales are likely to go up or likely to go down. Accordingly, I have to plan my production process. If I'm not able to predict the sales, it will be difficult for me. If the demand goes up, I will not be able to meet the expectations of the customers. And if the sales goes down, I will have unsold inventory. So predictive analysis tries to predict the different variables on the basis of the historical trend of the data. If you remember, at the beginning of the session, I talked about temporal data. So temporal data talks about, now we would like to see, suppose we are in the second quarter of the year. So I would like to see what has been the third quarter sales in the last 10 years. So I would look at the sales of Samsung of the last 10 years in the third quarter, starting from July till September, and would like to analyze the trend and see if the trend has been growing. So I would like to increase the amount of production in our organization. So it's important for us to understand that the predictive analysis is very, very important for us for giving answers to multiple questions in the, now the moment we decide that the sales is likely to increase, we have to increase the production. Now to increase the production, we need to focus on increasing the purchase of raw materials, increasing the availability of manpower, and so on and so forth. So whenever we do trend analysis and we wish to predict the future of any of the variables, it is important, and we call it as predictive analytics, predictive analysis, and ultimately it culminates into predictive analytics if it is an automated software giving to us on a dashboard. And last but not the least is prescriptive analysis. When we talk about prescriptive analysis, we need to understand that prescriptive analysis requires all the three, which I talked first one. The first one is descriptive analysis. We have to analyze the central tendency of the data. We have to diagnose the trends. We have to predict the trends. And we use all of the three together and then say, well, I think we should increase our advertisement budget so that we are able to sell more, and we should be going for a higher level of production. So we have to do the prescriptive data analysis. That is the last part of it. And this would require all the three previous aspects of descriptive analysis, diagnostic analysis, and predictive analysis. So now I have a small question from the audience. Have you understood the four components? And the answer is from your emoticon. Yes is this one and no is this one. Have you understood the types of data analysis? Yes, participants? Perfect. So we'll proceed further to the next slide. So this is the type of slide which we are talking about, different types of data analysis. So let us try and understand it from a different perspective in terms of the graph. Descriptive analysis talks about what happened. Descriptive analysis talks about what happened, and we analyze the central tendency of the data. And why did it happen? Why did it happen? Probably our price was the best, our advertising was the best, our product quality was the best. So we do the diagnostic analysis. Then goes the third one. What will happen for the next quarter? What will be the sales? What will be the sales? And last but not the least, how can we make it happen? How can we make sure in the next quarter our sales is going to go up? So for that matter, we need to have the right price, right product quality, right timing of the advertisements, right quality of advertisements, and right availability of the products and services. So this is very, very important. So this gives us a very clear picture about descriptive analysis, diagnostic analysis, predictive analytics, and then we talk about the prescriptive analytics. So all the analysis, when we are using data dashboards to give us analytics, we start using the word called analytics. So hindsight, insight, and foresight. These are three words. So hindsight talks about history. ये ऐतिहासिक तथ्यों का आकलन कर हमें जो है उनकी जो सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी है, जो उनकी केंद्रीय वृत्ति है, वो बताती है हमें. Then we talk about the diagnostic analytics. It gives us insight about why did it happen, what will happen if we do similar things. And then last is, but not the least, is prescriptive analytics. We talk about the foresight. If we want to increase the sales, we need to have more production, better advertising strategy, better range of products, and so on. So these are the types of data analysis, and then we'll proceed further now. Now, data dashboard. Let us understand what is the concept of data dashboard. Actually, when we look at data in terms of numbers, we are not able to visualize it in the right pattern. But when it comes to us in form of graphs, we can very clearly see this green graph at the top is going down. All of you can see the green graph going down here at the top? Yes? Okay, so now we look at the bar chart. I'll tell you how to, now those of you who have been using MS Excel or most of the other statistical software. Now when we draw the line chart or the bar chart, the charts give us a very clear picture as trend is going up, trend is going down, or trend is almost static. So the dashboard gives us a consolidated trend of all types of data at one common location. So let's have a clear understanding here. Now, this is about warehouse query performance. Now, this is the first data. Let's look at the top. Queries volume by region. किस इलाके में कितना वॉल्यूम था बचा हुआ? So that is किस warehouse में कितना माल बचा हुआ? So in some warehouse, you know, the data is always going down. So we can look at region wise. Database 1, 2, 3 and warehouse 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the colors of warehouse and database is 1, 2, 3. So 3 colors are for the 3 levels of database and 4 colors are of the different warehouses. Now, then if we look at the bar chart, it talks about the average data. So you can look at the graph and see the average data is around 3.75 something. So now these are the data which gives us real-time query performance. Real-time query, I want to see how much on different dates, what has been the different level of stock in different warehouses. So this is the real-time query performance. So on the dashboard, on our iPad, on our mobile, I can see how the data has been fluctuating. It helps us in taking decisions. So the aim of data analysis is to take decisions. And you know, we have 2 types of data. So I'm talking more about dynamic data. I think in one of my previous sessions, I talked about the data analysis of 2 types. Data analysis of historical data, which we normally do in our doctoral thesis or postdoctoral thesis. But in real world, in the business world, we have to talk about the data analysis of the live data. It is fluctuating every moment. You can see BSE Sensex fluctuating every moment and so on and so forth. So query volume by hour, you know, 24 hours, how the query volume is increasing or decreasing. So किस समय पे हमारे products की मांग कितनी बढ़ती है? Suppose दिन के 12 बजे सबसे ज्यादा peak demand है, रात के 1 बजे 12 बजे सबसे कम है. तो हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा कि what time our product gets demanded most or what time the product gets demanded the least and so on. So the data dashboard helps us in keeping a track of the data in such a way that we are able to get a clear picture at one common dashboard. I'm sure all of you are clear about what data dashboard means. So this data dashboard is culmination of automatic data analysis at one common location. And I'll tell you how to do it using Power BI. Now, we'll talk about the steps in data analysis. So we talked about simple things. Whenever the data is coming to us, we will be required to do the data cleaning on the basis of data specifications. तो डेटा स्पेसिफिकेशंस वो स्टेटमेंट्स हैं जो डिफाइन करते हैं कि हमारा डेटा टाइप क्या होगा, किस फॉर्मेट में होगा, हम कैसे स्टोर करेंगे, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. So thereafter, once we have done the data cleaning, we would try and analyze what has been the quality of data. Is the data consistent? There are a lot of missing data. Is the data in the right field or not? And so on and so forth. So we would like to analyze the quality of data. Once we have decided, well, the quality of data is really good, we have done the cleaning, and I think this is worth analyzing. So it's important for us to be very cautious and conscious of the fact. SQL 14 onwards, the version 14 onwards, there is a separate segment called data quality. You know, the server administrator is able to do the quality analysis of the data from the central server, and it gives dashboard based reports, what has been the quality of data. Then we do the analysis part of it, either exploratory or confirmatory in nature. And then we see if we are doing the analysis again and again, is the result stable or not? So we have to look at the stability of the results. If the result is not stable, I think there is something wrong somewhere, either with the quality of the data or with the statistical test which we are doing, or there is something wrong with the software. So one or the other. So it's important for us to look at the stability of results. This is what is not majorly being done by a majority of the researchers. They feed the data, they get the research, fine, go ahead. There is a lot of shortage of time, a lot of deadlines given by the research guide and the supervisor. So we as researchers sometimes miss out on doing the analysis of stability of the results and so on. So the same data being analyzed again and again with different, mechanisms, we find the similar or stable results. And then we talk about application of different statistical methods and ultimately getting the research findings and ultimately we talk about
Yeah, Professor Rana is coming back due to technical issue. He is coming back. Please wait. Yes, sir. Sir, you are not audible. Yes, sir.
my apologies for this power disruption. My sincere apologies to all the participants for this power disruption. And this is where we were. We were talking about the various steps in data analysis. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, when we talk about a data analysis problem, We have different types of problems at our hand in the area of data analysis. So first of all, we have to identify the business problem. Now, once we have identified this is the business problem, we have to identify the data and acquire the data in the right format. We do the processing and cleaning of the data.
Sir, can you please share the screen once again?
Yes, please.
The screen is
please. One moment, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
my apologies once again for this disruption. We have various steps in solving data analysis problems. And the first step in the process is to identify the business problem which we have at our hand and identify the data and acquire data. And thereafter, once we have acquired the data, we have to analyze the quality of data and we do the required cleaning. And then we go for the exploratory analysis. And once we have done exploratory analysis, we go for generating a particular model and we try and validate the model with the available IT softwares. And if the model gets validated, we visualize the model and see how the data trend will look like. And is it going to help us in terms of taking the right business decision or not? So it's important for us to visualize the model. And then once we have visualized the model, it is very important for us to reach to a solution of the business problem which we had envisioned. Now, when we talk about predictive analytics process, now the process still remains the same. There will be a difference in the process. Now, if you remember the four types, descriptive was the first one. Then the next was diagnostic. Third one was predictive. And the last one was prescriptive. Now, when we do predictive analytics process, here the first job would be to collect the requirement as usual. And we need to know, what are we going to predict? Are we going to predict the demand? Are we going to predict the sales, or both demand and sales, or predict the price and demand and sales, and so on? So there are a lot of variables which we have to do the prediction. So we have to analyze which variable we are going to predict and which data we are going to collect. And then once we have done that, the gathered data is collected in the form of the right set of data. We do the analysis, and then ultimately we take various statistical tools and techniques so that now we have machine learning these days. We have artificial intelligence, machine learning, Hadoop, a lot of new generation technologies, which is helping the researchers in a very big way. This morning, my engineering students, they came to me, we are creating a robot, and when it understands somebody is coming closer to it, the robot will say, welcome to Sanskriti University. So they're trying to talk about technology, which is predictive in nature. So the robot is going to sense somebody has come close to it. It will greet them and ask, may I help you? How can I help you? And so on. So if he gets a question, he's going to answer in a structured format and so on and so forth. So thereafter, use of statistics and machine learning, we can do the predictive modeling, and ultimately using all of them, we can predict the variables, especially variables like sales, like demand, and other similar variables in the world of business and in different other domain areas as well. Now, suppose we have temporal data of last 20 years. Let's talk about weather forecasts. So we have temporal data of last 20 years pertaining to weather. And with the help of predictive analytics, we are able to predict the weather. And that's how Google Weather is able to give us the tentative forecast of weather of different dates. So it's all about the culmination of predictive analytics. Let's look at data analytics process, how we do. Now, first and foremost is we talk about the deployment of the software or the information systems. The software or the information systems with proper data architecture, with the right data model in the mind, and then understanding business. So that's the second step. Having business understanding as to how the business will be giving us data from time to time. And then we start exploring the data in such a way that we source the data from different sources and we prepare the data at one common place. And last but not the least, we prepare the data model in such a way that we are able to get the desired data related output. And last step at number 6, we go to talk about data evaluation. So when we talk about data evaluation, we need to understand how we collected the data, how we analyzed it, how we have reached the results, and so on and so forth. So that's very important for us to understand. Now, the entire process goes like this. We start with the data access, we start exploring it, we start transforming it, we prepare the model, validate it, and once the data model is validated, we implement the model, and then ultimately it starts giving us the right results at the right time in form of a data dashboard. So predictive analytics is very, very important for us to understand. And there are a host of predictive analytics softwares, especially we'll talk about them in the subsequent slides. So as a researcher, the most heartening or most enthusiastic aspect is to deal with real data. I'll talk about one mechanic. He went to the doctor. He says, boss, I am dealing with the engine of the car and you are dealing with the heart, but your fees is very, very high. I charge 20,000 to do engine overhaul and you are charging 5 lakhs to put a small stent. He says, gentleman, you are dealing with dead machines and I am dealing with live human beings. So that's the difference between the two people. And that's why the doctors are charging so heavily for operating human beings, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs for the cardiac surgery. So the beauty and the pleasure which we derive in the live data analysis, the online data analysis, is very, very different than doing a dead data analysis, historical data analysis. But then ultimately both are important for us. So application of predictive analytics is, the process still remains the same. We have a central business goal in mind at the center. We need to understand what are the sets of data we are going to collect. Most important, because once we have understood which business goal, which data, preparation of data, preparing the model, evaluating it, deploying the model, and last but not the least, most important aspect is monitoring the data. Monitoring the entire model, whether the model is giving the desired results, desired findings or not, and so on and so forth. So entire data analytics goes in the same structure and format. This is now explained in slightly different format. Now the first aspect is creation of a data set. Now suppose I want data set of all my students for the last 8 semesters, all engineering students for last 8 semesters. Now I import it into our spreadsheet software. I import it in my spreadsheet software. Now we map the data. We try to do the mapping of the data, how the performance of the student has differed. Like the students who were brilliant before 12th, have they been performing brilliantly even after, during the engineering, and so on and so forth. So it's important for us to understand. So we do data mapping from different angles and different perspectives. Now we talk about data reducing. Now, when we talk about data reducing, again, there are multiple interpretations and manifestations. One is, we may have millions of data. We may not analyze the entire millions. We may take a sample set of, let's say, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, and so on and so forth. So we would like to reduce the data by having our required sampling technique, so that in minimal time, we are able to give better results. Then finally, once we have done the data reducing part of it, using different tools and techniques, we are doing the data processing. And finally, we are doing data loading in the data analytics framework. And then we are creating the rules, we are generating the rules. And suppose we are generating the rules in such a way that from all sets of data, we are able to get the specific data sets of the different fields, which we have it in our proposed model. Thereafter, we start doing analysis of the data. And finally, we do data filtering. Then we get the filtered results. Suppose I want to know how many students of our engineering were who scored 60% more marks in 10th and 12th and scored 60% or more marks in all the 8 semesters. So we can try and filter the data. Out of those students, what were the percentage of students which were boys and what are the percentage which were girls? What percentage of students who came from convent background or who came from the government school background, and so on and so forth. So we can do data filtering and get different kinds of data analytics and so on. So it's important for us to understand that data analytics is going to help us in a big way. So I'll be slightly faster in nature because I wish to show you some of the data at hand by sharing Excel sheet and Power BI together. So data analytics, let's look at it in 5 simple steps. First, try and ask the right business questions. Right business questions. Is my sales going to increase or decrease? Should I increase the price or decrease the price? Should I improve the quality or let it be the same? Should I change the packaging or not? Should I miniaturize the packaging or not? So it's important for us to define the business problems and what has been the target of your data analysis. हम data analysis करने क्यों जा रहे हैं? So we have to define it in the crispest form possible. Then we have to measure the data sets. हम जिसको measure करने जा, suppose हमें sales के बारे में analysis करनी है. So we'll start measuring the sales related data which is available at our hand. So we have to collect the valid data and improve the data quality if it is required. If the data quality is good, it may not require improvement. But if the data quality is not so good, it may require corrective action to improve the quality of data. And finally, very simple process. Analyze your data. Now I'll show you the analysis part of it in a simple way so that, and all on Excel live so that you are able to make yourself conversant. Analyzing your data to facilitate better process understanding and develop solutions. हमें analysis इसलिए करनी है ताकि हम better solution, better answer दे सकें. और जब हम solution पे पहुंच जाते हैं, then we have to implement our solutions, optimize our process efficiency. Now, suppose we want to improve, we want to make a process efficient. To improve the process or to make the process efficient, we analyze the data which is available at our hand, and then we analyze it and find out how we are going to make the process more efficient. Last but not the least, हमारे solution का benefit क्या है? फायदे ज्यादा हैं या नुकसान ज्यादा है? अगर फायदे ज्यादा हैं तो हम implement कर देते हैं और उस framework की conditions को हम define कर देते हैं that this framework will work under these conditions, and we implement it, and the data dashboard gives us the required results as and when required. So this is how we talk about data analytics in 5 simple steps. So I'll come back to it, define it, measure it, and after measuring it, analyze, improve, and control. Control means we have to assess benefits. हमारे solution का benefit कितना है? Now, look at the steps of data analysis. सबसे पहली बात, हमें data analysis करना क्यों है? Why am I going to do data analysis? बिना analysis के भी सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है? नहीं. हमें analysis इसलिए करना है कि जब हम analyze कर लेंगे, we will be able to make our people, process and technology better than what it was earlier. अगर हम data को analyze करके लोगों को feedback देते हैं, oh, this is what you should be doing, and this is how the process will become more efficient. I think that is very, very important. So simple steps: begin collection of data from different sources, clean the data, analyze the data, interpret it, and apply it. Well, it sounds very simple. And when we start doing the analysis, we get a lot of challenges. Which tool, which is statistical tool, how to use it. Oh, now I got the data results, how to interpret it. So at every step, we have challenges. And it is important for us to understand more and more about data analysis so that we are able to collect the right data, put them into right format, put them as per the data specification, then look at the data quality. If it is good, fine. If it is not good, update the quality, improve it, and so on and so forth. And last but not the least, clean the data, do the analysis, get the findings, give your recommendations. And this is how, and let me tell you, nobody was born perfect. the day I started doing data analysis, it has been very close to my heart. I was so passionate about it. I used to, teach a course on spreadsheet modeling. In India, very few universities and very few business schools in the country were teaching this course, the spreadsheet modeling. And my vice chancellor said, Dr. Singh, you have to teach this. I said, thank you very much. I would love to teach it. So I started teaching that course. So spreadsheet modeling is all about collecting all the data in spreadsheet software, all your statistical software, and prepare a model to give recommendations. So it's an amazing subject, majorly being taught in US. Now, let us try and learn how can we activate the tools in MS Excel. So I just created a small video to show it to you so that you can understand. Let's look at the live video. We go to File. I think I'll make it slightly slow. I'll start it once again. Okay, we have to go to the File. We click on Options at the bottom. Options पे click करते हैं हम. After clicking on the options, we go to add-ins. In add-ins, at the bottom, we have Excel add-ins. In Excel add-ins, we click on Excel add-ins and click on Go. On Go, we have to click all of them. Analysis Toolpack, Euro Currency, and Solver add-in. These are the 4 add-ins we have to click. And then what will happen on our dashboard? We can see data analysis at the top right. Here you can see data analysis here. Can you see data analysis at the top? All of you, can you see here data analysis at the top? Yes or no? Okay, I'll show this video once again so that you are able to understand. In MS Excel, we go to click on File. At File, we go on Options. We click on Options, and then we go to Add-in. In Add-in, we go to the bottom and we click on Excel Add-ins. In Excel Add-ins, we select Excel Add-ins and we click on Go, and then we put a tick mark on all the 4, and then we click on OK. When we click on OK, it helps us in generating an extra tool here, data analysis, which we call it as at the top right, data analysis. Is it clear to everyone? Participants, yes or no? Perfect. So now we'll move to the next slide. Now we will use MS Excel to do descriptive analysis today. We'll use MS Excel to use descriptive analysis. Let's go to the next slide. Now here I created another video for all of you to make your life easier. You can see there is a set of data here. There is a set of data. I select the entire set of data and click on data analysis. On the top, I click on data analysis. Here I get descriptive statistics. I click on OK. I click on OK. Here there is an option to select the data again. I have selected the data once again here at the top. You can see the data getting selected here from 44. It's like from A1 to A14. A1 to A14. I select on all of them. All the sets are being tick marked here. And then we click on OK. We see the entire descriptive statistics. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation, sample variance, skewness. Everything has come here in one go. Am I clear to everyone? I will repeat it once again so that you are able to. You can see this is the set of data. The entire data is being selected, and we click on data analysis. Here it comes descriptive statistics. We click on OK. We go to the top here. In the top, we select the data again from A1 to A14, and then we tick mark all of them and we click on OK. The moment we click on OK, we can see the entire descriptive statistics coming. You can see click on OK. It gives you all mean, standard deviation, median, modes, sample variance, kurtosis, range, minimum, maximum, sum, count, smallest, confidence interval, everything. So is it clear to the participants? Perfect. So I think this is one I thought I'll share it with you by preparing a video wherein we can use Microsoft Excel to get the descriptive statistics. You remember I was talking about the. Now what I'll do is just a moment. I will make this slide static at a point so that I would require my attention of all my participants. Can you see this one? Yes. So when we look at this, I have kept it static. So you can see descriptive statistics, exponential smoothing, F-test, Fourier analysis, histogram, correlation. So you can just select it and all these tests can happen. So you have to just do two processes, select the different analysis tools and then select the data and click OK. So all your data analysis happens in no time. Am I clear to everyone? Participants? Yes, perfect. So this is wonderful. So Excel gives us an amazing kind of facility for all of us as researchers. We'll go to the next slide, please. Now we'll go to data science once again. Now, in terms of data science, it's important for us to understand. Now, the first is to identify all the available data sets. Now, we have different types of data sets available internally and externally. So internal data set we talk about available within the organization. External data set is available outside. We can get the same. Now we have to extract all the data into usable format. Now we have .csv. .csv stands for comma separated value file, .csv file. It's like an Excel file or .xls file. So we have to understand .db stands for .database. So we have different types of file formats. So we have to arrange all the data with us, internal data and external data. We put it at a common storage point. And then we examine the data very closely. We understand every column, whether the data is in the required format or not. And then we replace as it is required any of the corrupt data, any of the data in the wrong format and so on. And then we try and play around with the data. Playing around with the data does not mean playing in the literal sense, but try and analyze them to get some preliminary findings of the data. And then we try and identify the patterns and extract the features. We try and identify the patterns and extract the features so that we are able to use statistical tools and techniques. We are able to use the statistical tools and techniques to identify and test the significant variables, which variables are significant, which of them are not significant, and so on and so forth. Now, we talk about creating a predictive model. Now we know what are we going to predict and what would be our model which we are going to create. And this model will be getting data from different sources, internal sources and external sources. And in the last slide, I will tell you how to get data from the real world on an online basis using Power BI and MS Excel together. We'll be using Power BI and MS Excel together, bring the entire set of data so that we are able to create a predictive analytics model. So we create a predictive model and we try and identify the business insights. We try to identify the demand, the sales, the price, and so many other dimensions. And then we try to visualize our findings in such a way that we can take some actionable decisions in the world of business. And then we ask a lot of questions pertaining to our model. Are we right? Is it giving the right answer? And so on and so forth. So as a researcher, we need to be very, very agile and active and vigilant to get data from all sources, have the right software, have the right statistical tools and techniques, create the right model, fit all the data, visualize the trends, clean the data and see, improve the data quality, and ultimately get to understand, well, this is the best way. This is how we are getting the data. This is how we are getting the findings. This is how we are giving the decision, and so on. So the entire data science, which integrates all the three aspects, the domain expertise, the computer science expertise, and the statistical and mathematical expertise together to give us business insights and to enable us as researchers to find answers to business problems or the research problems at our hand. Now, We'll move on to the next slide. This is very important for us to understand about data governance. Data analysis may not go right if the data governance is not right. Suppose, who are the people who should have access to the data, who should control the data, who should be storing the data, who should keep the backup, and so on and so forth. We have different sets of data related policy in the organization. We have, let's say, data protection policy, data storage policy, multiple sets of policy. I cannot tell you. Now, data storage policy will talk about database servers, who's going to control the database servers. Data backup policy, it will talk about how many times the backup will be taken every minute, every second, every hour, every 3 hours, every 6 hours, every day, at the end of the night, means midnight, and so on and so forth, monthly, quarterly, daily. So we have to have the different data governance. Now, these three aspects are very, very crucial: people, process, and technology. And if we are able to get a fair understanding of people, process, and technology, we will have better data analysis process. So who are going to be the owners of the data? Who are likely to have the access of the data? Who will be managing the data security so that the data does not get stolen? Who will be managing the data quality? And ultimately, using all of them, we are going to have the right set of knowledge. So ultimately, data governance talks about all of them. And this is very important within an organization and for us, for data analysis as well. So these are the 4 linking pillars. When we talk about data governance, it's important for us to understand that we have to manage our data according to our own data policies as well as data policies of the government. So we have to comply with the regulatory compliance, and we have to be compliant to our internal data policies as well as our other business policies. And simultaneously, we have to make sure that our database servers are having the right set of data quality. And the data governance is aimed at ensuring that all the data related policies, the well drafted and approved policies, are in such a way that they're giving the right set of data so that we are able to use the right set of data analysis tools and techniques to give them the right answers. Let's look at the data quality dashboard. This is very, very crucial. Let's look at this. I feel very excited and enthusiastic when I see these dashboards. And these days, all the softwares are giving us dashboards. We can create dashboard with the help of Microsoft Excel as well. Now, this talks about the data is consistent, 88%, 80%. Data is complete to an extent of 88%. Orderliness, they are in the right order, 82%. Timeliness, 78%. That means people submitted the data in time. Accuracy, 90%. And then we talk about data audit. I have been doing data audit as well in the Department of Institutional Research when I was based in UAE. So data audit is another interesting area wherein we try to do the audit of every field and every data point in such a way that we have to take a decision. Yes, all the data sets are in the right format, in the right column, they are consistent, they are accurate, they are complete, and they are not getting duplicated and so on. So we are able to audit the data. And last but not the least, the data are unique sets of data. So it's not that we tried and copied one data at multiple points. So it's not that. So this is the data quality dashboard. So I'm sure all of you now understand the aspect of data quality which I have been talking about. Yes, participants, could you understand data quality dashboard? What are the data aspects which I was talking about till now? I think some of my participants are non-responsive. Could you understand what do we mean by data quality? What are the dimensions of data quality which we look at? Yes or no? I think my dash, okay. Yes, Raju Thomas says yes, perfect. Yes, Sandeepa, perfect. So I think, so this is what we talk about data quality. So before we start doing data analysis, it's important for us to analyze the data quality. Well, let me tell you, this is one of the models to keep my participants awake. When I ask yes or no, I check whether my participants are awake. So this is the data audit. Well, 84% of my participants are awake. They are up, listening, and they are responding. So that's one statistical model. As a teacher, you can also apply it. Okay, next is, so we look at the qualitative data analysis, in which we get the responses in qualitative format. We do thematic analysis, we do grounded theory, content analysis, framework analysis, participatory action research, narrative analysis, qualitative dissertation, interpretive phenomenological analysis. I'll discuss some of them. It's quite theoretical in nature. I'm sure you will be able to go through it. Now, I'll give you the one dimension of content analysis, how it becomes relevant. In US, like in India, we have SEBI. In US, we have SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, which was established in 1935. Now, they ask the companies to submit their annual financial report. And in that annual financial report, if we do the qualitative data analysis, we calculate how many times the word risk has been mentioned in that annual financial report. So there are two dimensions to it. If the word risk has come multiple times, more than 150 times, that means we understand there is a lot of risk associated with the company. That is one dimension to look at it. Second dimension is the company is very meticulous. It has analyzed all types of risk and is working very professionally. So these are two dimensions. So we do content analysis. We do content analysis by analyzing how many times a specific word has been repeated, so that it gives us. So we do which word has been repeated how many times. The content analysis gets done. Harvard Business School, they have been doing case study analysis. So we give the problems, one case. Okay, I'll give you a case study. In my last 3 months of experience on Zoom and other online teaching softwares, I could see half the participants, they register, they put their picture, and they are busy doing all other works at home, probably which they do not want to be seen by others. So they put their pictures and they do many of the household work, which they don't want other participants and the speaker to look at. Sometimes they are listening also and doing the work simultaneously. Thirdly, sometimes they are not listening. They just come at the end and close it. And in such cases, I'm able to find, when I say yes or no, I don't get any response. So I'm able to figure out, here are the participants who are not there and not listening. There and not listening. So there are multiple types of analysis which can be done. Okay. So case study, almost 50-50, 60-40, 80-20, depending on the types of the learners. They are listening, they are responding, and they are finally, okay, we'll go to the next slide. So now in case of qualitative data analysis, the concept still remains the same, wherein we collect the data in such a way that we organize the collected data in different forms and we code it. Now, suppose the word successful has come many times. Let's say we are trying to analyze the interviewees. How many times the person wants to talk about success. If he's talking only about failures, it becomes very challenging to have such a person on board within an organization. So these days, HR is able to analyze the qualitative data. The entire interview gets recorded. And it gets typed later by transcriptionists. And then qualitative data gets analyzed. And apart from the marks given by the person interviewing, now the software also generates report and gives marks to the interviewee. So now the HR world has become more and more interesting, challenging, and more innovative and technology enabled. All the interviews get enabled. They get, evaluated by the descriptive, or we talk about qualitative data analysis. So we have to identify a framework. Which framework are we going to use? And ultimately we implement it. Then we put the data into the framework, we do the analysis, and then we do second order analysis. जैसे कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हमने first level analysis कर लिया, then we go to the second order analysis to find out. So there are three possibilities. One, we go for quantitative analysis, we go for qualitative analysis, and we go for both of them together. Quantitative cum qualitative analysis. So all three possibilities are there in case of data analysis. And let us look at some interesting softwares which are currently available for qualitative data analysis. We have HubSpot, we have MaxQDA, we have Cause Qualtrics, I found it to be very, very, user-friendly and very, very insightful to use and give. Then we have Ravensai, and there are many others. This is not just 5. There are 55 more, but I didn't want my slide to be cluttered. So I thought, let me give 5 of it so that you can try some of it. Qualtrics you can use as my recommended software because it's very, very user-friendly and very easy to analyze the data. Now, this is something which is very close to my heart. Now, these days, we talk about email marketing. We talk about email marketing and we analyze the live data. Now, email marketing software, we have a software called MailChimp. अब हम आज की तारीख में, अब in the era of pandemic, most of the institutions, they are not in a position to meet the students face to face. So they are either doing telecalling or they are doing email marketing. So now the software being used for email marketing is MailChimp, Constant Connect, many others, WorldCast, so many others. So now when we are using MailChimp, I want to know that I have sent 10,000 emails. How many of them have been delivered? So here comes the data, 17 successful deliveries. How many of them? 17 successful deliveries. 34 clicks. That means mails which have been delivered, people have clicked on it and read it thoroughly, and so on and so forth. Now, apart from this, we can see the data of the last 100 days. From which part of the world the mails have been, okay, we see my mails have been used more from North America than South America. It has been used in Africa, not in India, and so on. So we can have global, this is spatial data mapping. This is spatial data mapping. Do you remember at the beginning I talked about spatial data? So this data gets reflected here. North America, you can see. So the data has been mailed and more data is reflected at North America. So this tracks the data on the basis of longitude and latitude of the IP address from which the email was opened. Okay, so this is something, and I'll show you live also on the dashboard. I would just like to open the dashboard here. The dashboard is open here, and I would like to share the screen again. New share. Let me find my dashboard here. Yes, Power BI. This is the dashboard I wanted to show you. Is it visible to all of you? Participants? Perfect, perfect. So this is my Power BI dashboard, and I have kept 2 new data analytics for you. One is email marketing, which is very important for all academic institutions to do email marketing in the era of pandemic because we may not be able to meet a lot of students. So MailChimp email data analytics, I just click on this one on a live basis. This is how I get, you can see the dashboard. Now, this is the dashboard. I click on the dashboard and we can say the data is getting loaded. Can you see the data getting loaded? Yes. So this is giving me the spatial data here. There are 2 recipient clicks here, 8 subscribes, 17 clicks, 32 successful deliveries, and 17 campaign performance. So it gives me my email campaign performance. How many mails did I send? How many people received it? How many people clicked on it? And how many people purchased the product for which it was sent? So such data analytics gives very, very important insights to all of us. I hope it was interesting for us to understand how can we do live data analytics. Okay, so now we'll look at the other one. Now we'll look at the other one. Just a moment, we'll go back to home. So this is how we are doing live data analytics. Now, I'll give you small statistics and Modi ji will be happy to know. The previous session which I conducted, it has around more than 4,500 viewers till now. So now 4,500 viewers, Modi ji would like to see how many of them are from India, how many of them are from US, how many of them from which states of the country. So then here is a data analysis which says this is YouTube analytics. So now YouTube analytics, we can find out that which state is using my video maximum. So maximum number of respondents are coming from down south Kerala. So you can see how many likes coming from which side of the country, which state, which are the top 5 videos which have been, how many subscribers, how many videos, how many views which have happened till now, how many likes, how many comments, and the analysis of the comments. Isn't it interesting, all of you? Yes? Perfect. So live data analysis, it gives you a lot of pleasure. You feel happy about it. Wow, such a great pleasure to see deep insights. Who has heard me? Okay, and probably it's important for us to understand which video was liked most, so that we can see what was appreciated by my participants and what was not appreciated. See, if I just give you all definitions, how many of you would like that particular session? Definitely not. I never liked it. Probably something goes live, some data, some graphics, some video. It makes our attention, attention and retention slightly on the higher side. So this is something which is important for us to understand. You can see this, all the statistics, video counts, subscribers, total number of views, 87,000, 440 likes, 81. So this gives me the demographics. Okay, my viewers are coming more from US, Australia, Singapore, and Europe than from India. Yes, so it gives us likes orientation, how we can customize our YouTube videos so that we get more and more viewers and more and more likes, and so on and so forth. So we'll now go back to the third aspect. So I took 2 examples today. One was of MailChimp analysis. Second one was YouTube analysis. There are many such apps. There are many such apps on Power BI. So Power BI is free for 2 months. I would invite all of you to use Power BI by Microsoft. You can go to powerbi.com. I repeat, powerbi.com. You can make a note of it. Go to Power BI for 60 days. It's almost free. Enjoy it, learn it, feel happy about it. And there are hundreds of apps you can download and see how you can leverage data analytics. Now we'll come back to how we can club the power of Excel and business. We talk about Excel and Power BI together. So we'll go to the third one today. Okay, so you can see a download button here. At the top right, you can see the download button. All of you are able to see this? At the top right, are you able to see this? Power BI and analysis in Excel updates. So you can download this software, analysis in Excel updates. You can download it and install it. So you will be able to integrate Microsoft Excel with Power BI and get much more data visualizations and data analysis in interesting form. Am I clear to all of you? Okay, so you can download this analysis in Excel updates, download it, install it, and then you can see your Power BI and Excel talking to each other, and you can get more powerful dashboards and meaningful data analysis and interpretations together. And you can download the paginated report builder as well, Power BI for your mobile. If you want to show somebody the results of your Power BI on your mobile, you can download this one as well. So there are a host of statistical tools and techniques available free of cost. It all requires is our passion to do more and more data analysis and give much better research findings with much higher accuracy, with much professional decisions, and that's all about it. So now I'll just go back to our slides as well. For those of you who have not attended the previous session of the previous program, you can see this COVID data available. Currently, the whole world is struggling about COVID. So it can give us the real-time data analysis, and you are able to see how the whole world, real-time data at this moment of time, we are at number 3 in the world. Look at India. Are you able to see India here? Can you see India data? We are at number 3 and the graph is going up. It's going consistently up. The cumulative confirmed cases. So we are able to look at it, and you can download as many apps and see. And you can download this data and do further level of analysis. You can download this data and do further level of analysis. So I'll close it here today. from especially regarding Power BI, and we'll go back to the slides once again. Oh, I think I'll have to share it once again. Is the MailChimp visible now? Okay, perfect. So this is data analytics for YouTube. This is data analytics for YouTube. So this is the difference between what I show you on a slide and what you see live on a software. Are you able to see the difference? The slide shows us like this, but on a real-time basis, you can see how it is responding. And this is the next part of it. Analyze in Excel. You can download Analyze in Excel updates. So this is the advanced features of MS Excel, which you can download free of cost from Power BI, install it in your system, and can do advanced data analysis on your own system. So this is very, very important. By the way, I think I'll show you something interesting. If you can come look at the bottom of this slide was created on 29/6 at 3:31 p.m. Can you look at this data at the bottom right? This was done today, 29/6 at 3:31 p.m. So I thought let the slides and the content be the latest for all of you. So it is fresh from the oven. Okay, so this is all about it. Now, once you have downloaded Analyze in Excel on your laptop, you will be able to see this, and then you can create a pivot table connected to Power BI dataset. So this is the added feature you will have on your MS Excel. You can learn about pivot table, and then you'll be able to create the BI dataset on your own laptop. So this is how it will be able to integrate Microsoft Excel and Power BI together, and you can get more powerful data analysis and data analytics. And let me tell you, there are only two things which can differentiate you as a researcher. One is your passion to know more and more about data analysis, and second, having access to the various statistical tools and techniques, and last but not the least, having access to the latest softwares with which you can do the data analysis. These three together is a deadly combination. First, your passion to do data analysis. Second, your knowledge about various statistical tools and techniques. And third, your access to the latest softwares. Many of them are available free, many of them are paid. So you collect all the three resources and you're willing to integrate the three, find the business problem at hand, collect the data, clean the data, improve the data quality, apply the right statistical test, analyze the data, process the data, give your data inference, and give the right business solutions to the problems. So this is the last slide so that you can understand, and you can see how the boss has responded when there is excessive data analysis. The boss says, after careful consideration of 437 charts, graphs, and metrics, I have decided to throw up my hands, hit the liquor store, and get snookered. Who's with me? So excessive data analysis is also a very big challenge. So we need to know what is the right level and right limit of data analysis. We should not do so much of data analysis that the boss is ready to reach the liquor store, or our client is ready to reach the liquor store. So optimality is the key in data analysis. It's not that I know too much of statistics, I know too much of data analysis, I'll make 1500 data analysis. No. Right data, right analysis, right recommendation, limited. Now you see he has made 437 charts. Can you imagine it is easy to comprehend 437 charts? You think boss is right in going to the liquor store or not? Boss is right or wrong? Absolutely right. Yes? Okay, so I think thank you very much, participants, for being such a wonderful listener. Means it's an amazing, I never understood how 2 hours, almost 2 hours went so fast. And thanks for your responses, intermittent responses as well. And I think now we'll be open to questions. I was asked to give as much time as to questions as well. So now the house is open for questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, wonderful session. I can tell you it was a really wonderful
Thank you
presentation.
so much, sir. I have always been trying to be.
Yeah, sir. We really enjoyed.
Whatever little I know about it, I wish to share it with my participants.
Yes, sir. So many comments are there. All are very happy.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. If somebody wants to ask some question, Rahi Munisa.
Okay.
Yes, Rahi Munisa ji, you can ask. Rahi Munisa ji, you want to say something? Please unmute yourself. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Namaskar, Modi ji. Central government Modi ji and this Inspira Modi ji, I think both are stars. Good evening, friends, participants, and dear faculty members. I would love to congratulate the team of Inspira Research Association for conducting such a wonderful program. पहले मैं सोचती थी कि भाई 4 दिन का प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं तो ज्यादा कर रहे हैं करके, बट मुझे अभी जस्ट नाउ आफ्टर लिसनिंग टू राणा सिंह जी, I feel कि this should be a one day program. 2 hours for Rana ji I think is not sufficient. Sir, Rana ji, मैं आपको straight away I request you kindly make me your research scholar. I'll get all benefit. Dashboards are so very inspiring. Technology, I mean, I think we can do wonders with technology. I take up cyber law paper. If I wouldn't have done cyber law, today there is no market for law teachers, right? So technology coupled with conventional things, they go a long way. Starting with the first day, the sessions were very good. Especially the other day, second day was Madhuji's presentation, right? And third day was Surajji's presentation. Yesterday it was a very soft, edge, motherly kind of a program. Today it's absolutely a father's program, right? Very bombarding, inspiring, instigating, motivating, inspiring. If someone listens to you, sir, they will definitely join PhD. वो पछताएंगे कि हमने PhD क्यों नहीं किया. And data analysis would be a perfect, I think, topic in research methodology. So this is an absolutely befitting. I should salute you, sir. Please permit me to come to your university once the COVID-19 is over. I would love to meet you and say, invite you to Andhra, right? So this is an absolutely good one. And as regards COVID-19, I think we all should be very, very careful, cautious. We are doing commendable job online, but let us also take care of ourselves. I request Modi bhai to continue the same spirit. Please do as many programs as you can.
Thank
all get connected online,
yes,
and this is a very real good show. I once again thank Rana ji. Rana ji, you are Badshah of today's program. As you were mentioning so many good things. I literally wrote every word of yours. I was taking screenshots. I wrote every word. I'll send you that email to you. So one fan from Visakhapatnam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful compliments. Shruti Sharma ji, you can ask. Shruti Sharma, please unmute yourself. Shruti Sharma.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. It was a wonderful session.
Can you please on your video?
No, sir. My actually webcam is not working. Yes. Sir, first of all, thank you so much for making an insight into Google Analytics in the last session and Power BI also. I have taken a 3-day course on Google Analytics and learned it. It was very useful for me. And in today's session, sir, I want to ask, is there any difference in the result when we do the data analysis in SPSS and Excel? Because today you showed that we can do ANOVA and other analysis also in Excel. So would there be any difference in the result?
Ma'am, I think due to technical issue he left. Yeah. He come again.
If anyone
yes,
can.
Yeah. He is back. Yes, sir. Can you please ask again?
Okay. Sir, I want to ask, like in today's session, you showed that we can do ANOVA and other t-test and z-test analysis in Excel. So would there be any difference in the result if we do the analysis in Excel or with the same data in SPSS?
In 99.99% cases, no. The results would be similar. 99.99 cases. 0.01%, there might be a difference because there are some algorithms, the underlying algorithms written at the time of structuring the software. Because the software is a processor. You give the inputs, there are defined rules, it gives the output. So at times when people are scripting the source code of the software, The underlying algorithms may vary. So in some cases, there might be variation. But in majority of the cases, it would be the same.
Okay. Okay.
Have I
Can
been
I
able
ask
to
one
address
more?
your question?
Can I ask one more question, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, in some workshops, the lecturer said that we have to remove outliers in
Yes,
analysis.
I'll talk
And-
about the outliers. I'll share with you.
Okay,
Well-
in some in some other workshops, the person said, the lecturer said that no, we shouldn't remove outliers. So what should we?
Okay, I'll give you with one specific example so that you can understand.
Yes.
And I'll give you one specific example you will understand.
Yes,
Now, there are 5 students. There are
sir. 5 students.
5 students. Okay. 4 of them got 0. 4 of them got 0.
0.
And the 5th one got 100 marks. And the passing marks was 20. Passing marks was 20. So if the outlier of 100, if I take it into consideration, I get an average of 20 and the passing marks is 20. I gave a recommendation, well, going by the overall average performance, the class has by and large done an acceptable performance.
Yes.
Do you accept my statement?
No.
Okay, so have I been able to address your concept of outlier? Should we keep it or should we not keep it?
Yes, sir. I got it now.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So if
Thank
you have
you.
understood,
Thank you.
I don't need to explain.
Thank you,
As a
ma'am.
teacher, I gave question for a question. Sometimes I
Yes,
don't give
thank
the
you.
answers.
Thank you so much, sir.
Perfect. Next question, please.
Yeah, next question. Prabodh Kumar Mishra ji. Yes, Prabodh Kumar Mishra ji. Please ask. Prabodh ji, please unmute yourself. Okay,
And,
Shikha Sharma.
Ravi
Shikha
ji,
Sharma.
you can share my coordinates also so that they can take up the questions offline also, because not all of them may get the opportunity to ask now.
Yeah, sure, sir. I will share your mail ID, phone number, everything. No problem.
And it is very simple to search for me on Google if you write Rana Singh or
Yes,
ranasingh.org.
Just write Rana Singh ji. You will find everything.
Yes.
Shikha ji. Yes, Shikha ji.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would thanks to you for such a wonderful session, and you give me a very good understanding about the data science. And sir, my question is related to data analysis. If we have published time-series data, so
Pardon,
what
please?
process we should publish time series data? Means
Okay,
secondary
time
panel
series data. Okay.
Yes, sir. Time series or panel data. So what process we should follow from starting to end, means unit root and all till interpretations. My concern is that I want to know first and
Perfect.
second.
I have a small answer to you, very small.
Yes,
I
sir.
would request you to, apart from your focus on statistics,
Yeah.
pick up a book of econometrics as well. Probably that will help you a lot phenomenal. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
At times I do not give straight answers to people, but I give them solutions which makes their life much better and brighter. As you
sir.
saw in the previous question, I did not give her the answer whether outlier should be included or not included, but I gave a question and probably she understood. I'll make a humble request to you. Start investing little time with econometrics, books of econometrics, and probably you will have a lot of, now we talk about Garsh test, we talk about the time series analysis.
Yeah.
So once you read the various tools of econometrics, probably you'll find much better, comfort level while dealing with time series.
Sir, can you suggest any book, any name of writer or any?
Well, I may not like to recommend. There are, and go to Amazon, you write econometrics, you'll get 100. You can start looking at, on go to books.google.com, you can read many of them free of cost. I suggest my researchers to use as much of free resources as possible.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there somebody? Akshay. Akshay, you want to ask something? Akshay Roop Rai.
Yes, he was listening very sincerely. I got the maximum thumbs up from him.
Yeah, Akshay, please speak.
Sir, I have two questions, sir. Sir, can I create a questionnaire in a BI Power software, sir?
I will tell you, I think you can visit the previous YouTube video that gives you the answer to it. There are multiple options. You have Survey Monkey, many of them. This is more to deal with data. Okay. You write Rana Singh FDP on YouTube, you get the previous video, you'll get the answer to this question. And all the possible sources to create the online survey questionnaire, that is from, actually there are 3 dimensions: input, throughput, and output. Okay. So Power BI is more through talking about throughput and output, not through the input part of it. For input, you have multiple tools. So you have Survey Monkey, you have Qualtrics, many other, online tools to collect you have Google Docs also to collect all these questionnaires. Right?
Sir,
second one.
So which way is the best way in this pandemic to collect the data? क्योंकि हम फिजिकल फॉर्म में तो कहीं भी जाना पॉसिबल नहीं है, तो मतलब किस तरीके से हम
पहला तो रामायण में एक लाइन है, जाहे विधि राखे राम ताहे विधि रहिए. So that is one line from Ramayana. We need to learn it. Second is, it talks about, see, I think in current situations, online is the simplest mode. And in extreme cases, when you send the online questionnaire, you can give them WhatsApp reminders, telephonic reminders, and get maximum kind of responses. So I think this is quite an obvious answer, but I'm sure, and we should avoid meeting people as much as possible unless required, unless there is a serious compulsion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Akshay. Sir, can we ask, can we take more questions? Or
Absolutely, I'm at your disposal.
Okay, 1 or 2 questions we are taking. Okay, Dimple ji, please. Dimple ji. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, I just want to know, like, few of the viewers, they are a little afraid of statistical, issues, that is data analysis. So what basic thing they should start with that? Like any book you want us to read, or what basic things we should start at first?
Perfect. I think
everyone is not so, sir, everyone is not so well versed with the technology or well versed with the things that's happening, So what basic tools, or what basic, you may say, what basic book you would like us to read, so that we will get gradually well versed in statistical or data analysis?
Well, let me be making an honest confession to all of you. I'm a graduate in history, honors in history with economics and English, and masters in finance, and doctorate in management. So I had similar fears when I started, but let me be honest. There is a punchline, dar ke aage jeet hai. That is the punchline of Due. So the moment you decide, I'm willing to learn, you are going to be successful. So that is the first step, is to take a decision. I will do it. I will learn it, come what may. Now this is more, easier said than done. First, you can pick up the books of statistics. There is a very good book of statistics with Excel. So it's available on the web, on Amazon as well. So read the basics of statistics, which are the tools and techniques. There is an Indian author, Mr. Kothari, C.R. Kothari. You can read research methodology. So we have to gradually improve our understanding of Microsoft Excel, then statistical tools and techniques. And I will tell you, the moment you open Excel, click on F1. The moment you click F1, it will give you which statistical tool, how to use it, with data, facts, figures, with example. So let me tell you, when I was studying maths in standard 5 or 6, I used to look at the examples. And after looking at 2 examples, I used to start solving them. So Microsoft Excel has examples for every tool, all its functions. So you can click on F1, go to the function, it is given you what should be the command, how to select the data, how to get the findings, and so on. So there's a book, Microsoft Excel, Statistics with Microsoft Excel. I think that will help you a lot. And the only suggestion is to be passionate. जिसे इच्छा होती है उसे सारे रास्ते मिल जाते हैं. So the day you decide I will do it, I would learn. The books are available, the resources are available. I have shown all the free resources. Power BI is free.
Yeah.
The Excel which I showed you is absolutely free. So I do not tell people you spend 50,000 rupees, buy this software. No, learn from the resources which is available free of cost.
Okay.
I hope I could address your question, if not answer it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, anyone? Okay, Ajay sir. Yeah, Ajay sir. Please ask.
Good evening, Rana sir. Your firstly, many thanks for your highly illustrative, lively presentation. I've learned a new thing here. Though it was a very, macroscopic presentation, we cannot, in a limited time, we cannot go into the micro details. But if you create a data analysis through Excel and you simultaneously use Power BI, then you certainly have to be artistic in nature.
Yes.
You must have an aesthetic sense.
Yes.
Now this is the new learning for me. Until you have this aesthetic and artistic sense, how do you create a very a presentable presentable where your boss certainly will go for a liquor shop. So this is a very new learning for me. Thanks for that. And the way you have given a direction, that direction is very significant. I think anybody who follows your direction, and if he has the passion, he can certainly combine these two: Excel data analysis, Excel descriptive analysis with Power BI, and they can learn so many new things. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Let me tell you why that slide was shown. Some people who know more about data analysis, they think if I do too much of test, my research will become very, very interesting. It becomes more confusing and misleading.
Right.
So the intent was to show that let us have optimal level of number of tests with the optimal results. We have to give the right decision to the end users, not to leave them confused. So that the choice of that cartoon was very, very intentional, and to bring some smile on the face of my participants who had the courage to listen for 2 hours. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. As we are running short of time, I request all the participants to send their queries on mail ID, on our mail ID, if any. Now, I request Professor Mathur sir, Professor N.D. Mathur sir, to speak few words. Professor Mathur sir.
Unmute me.
Yeah, sir. I have already unmuted you.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm listening to Professor Rana from last 2 hours, since 4 o'clock to 6:15 now, 2 hours and 15 minutes. And he is so nice a person, especially the kind of data analysis and the kind of analysis he has shown, very minute things, and even talking about econometrics and modeling and testings and analytics. And so he was very right in saying that it is the optimal model which is important rather than the maximum kind of models to be used. In fact, nowadays what the researchers are doing, they are unnecessarily using models. In certain research papers, models are not needed. Even then they use models. You know, the models are after all models. The models cannot become a good housewife. The good housewife is theory. And a model which is not built up on the theory, it cannot become a good housewife. So models should be definitely used. I don't say they should not be used, but they should be appropriately used and optimally used rather than the maximum use of the models. And Professor Rana, you are an excellent person and you have done the excellent analysis, very brilliant analysis. We will admire all those efforts you are doing. You are an outstanding person in this field. There is no doubt about it. We are extremely thankful to you for the data analysis and data analytics you have talked about today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mathur sir. Now I request Professor Anil Mehta sir to speak few words. Professor Mehta sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. Professor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
sir, you are audible.
I am really amazed today how a person with a background of history and economics, masters in finance and PhD in management, and then an academic leader at the station of vice chancellor can have such a command on science and data management. Amazing, sir. One of the participants, madam, has rightly said that you are true Basha of data management. You have very rightly mentioned that if we want to develop ourselves, irrespective of our background, we can develop, and you have proved it, the way you spoke and the command authority you are having on data science. I strongly recommend Professor Modi that he should think of organizing a full-phrase 4 days program on data management and data science for research scholars. In fact, one of the great quality of any teacher is that to make the things which are quite complex in a very simple and present in a very lucid way. And that is Professor Rana has done today. Sir, your zeal and enthusiasm that I was just very carefully listening to you since last 2 hours, and still you are so fresh. The quality of slides,
thank you, sir.
The way that's really remarkable. Salute to you, sir, for excellent presentation that you had given today. And we are expecting now from Modi that he will be organizing a full-fledged program on data management for at least 4 days. And I strongly recommend that Professor Rana should be the sole faculty for that program.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Since it's in just the last day of the workshop, in fact, other 3 Bhashas in their respective field, they also done the commendable job. Professor Jagdish Prasad, Professor N.D. Mathur, Professor G. Soral, they have really enlightened us with their vast knowledge. And I am just looking to the faces of all the research scholars and participants. In fact, the body language clearly reflects that everyone is happy, everyone is satisfied, and now at the exit end now, we all have been immensely benefited. And for that, Professor S.S. Modi and Master Modi both deserve a full salute for that. Once again, thank you very much for organizing such a wonderful program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your lovely words, sir. Thank you. Now, I would again like to thank our today's speaker, Professor Rana Singh, and the speakers from past 3 days, Professor N.D. Mathur, sir, Professor Jagdish Prasad, sir, Professor G. Soral, sir. I would also like to thank all the members of Inspira Research Association, all the executive members. I cannot name everybody, but especially to Dr. Aarti ma'am, Dr. Ranjula Jain ma'am, Dr. Ashok Kumar, Dr. Taylor sir, Dr. Gusai sir, Mrinali ma'am, as always, Professor Anil Mehta sir, he is always with us, and Andy Mathur sir, and all the participants who joined us on Zoom as well as on YouTube Live. Friends, Inspira is all about providing academic knowledge, and as you know, that we are running 4 journals at present, 2 national and 2 international journals, and all are peer-reviewed journals. Along this, we are publishing edited books also. The details are in our website. I will send today's assignment quiz link along with feedback form link on the WhatsApp group after half an hour after this session.
Dr. Ravi, probably you wanted everyone to be up on their video live so that you could take the screenshots of all the attendance.
Yes, yeah. I request everybody to please start the videos.
Because you wanted to take the attendance of everyone.
Yes. Sure, sir. Right. Yeah. Please start the videos. I request every participant. Yeah. I request once again all the participants to submit all the assignments and feedback up to 11:59 today, 11:59 p.m. And e-certificates will be provided within 7 days on your mail IDs. Those who missed to attend the event, they can watch the recorded videos on our YouTube channel, as we decided to keep the videos open access for all of you. Last but not the least, I would like to announce that we are going to organize 7 days faculty development program in the last week of July, coming July, on the topic life management and developing research skills. The details will be provided soon. And also on this 5th July, a live session on YouTube Live on the topic skill enhancement through personality development will be organized for all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I request Professor Modi to give thanks speech.
Honorable professors and dear participants, I deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making this FDP event such a resounding success. First of all, I would like to propose hearty vote of thanks to today's resource person, a great academician, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Rana Singh ji, for enlightening us by today's session. Thank you, sir, for your very interesting, explanatory, and knowledgeable and thought-provoking presentation. I would like to thank our distinguished resource persons of preceding 3 days, Professor Dr. Jagdish Prasad ji on topic validity and reliability of statistical tools, Professor Dr. N.D. Mathur on topic academic writing, Professor Dr. G. Soral on topic sample designing, for delivering very, very informative and excellent presentations and making this MDP interesting and meaningful. I would like to express hearty thanks to Professor N.D. Mathur, Professor Anil Mehta, Principal Dr. Rajiv Srivastav, Dr. Ranjula Jain, Dr. Aarti Garg, Dr. Priyanka, Dr. Ajay Kumarji Pandey, Dr. Aarti Chopra for their presence and moral support in this FDP MDP. Dr. Anshuja Tiwari Madam for moral support for this FDP. I am happy to express vote of thanks to our staff members who have made this FDP a grand success. During this FDP, we have conducted, as you know, 4 important segments for research methodology, and names have been explained earlier. Now, finally, the wonderful participants, faculty members, research scholars, students, and others who have turned up in such great numbers, not only from our Jaipur city and Rajasthan state, but also from almost all parts of the country. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Once again, I thank all for your cordial cooperation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rana Singh. Rana Singh ji. Thank you, Anil sir. Thank you, Mathur sir. Thank you all the participants once again.
All of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.